Hey everybody, Mike the Disgruntled Mechanic back again. One thing I'd like to say is if you like my channel, you've been watching my channel, how about subscribing? It's Disgruntled Mechanic on YouTube. I'm doing all kinds of different work on different vehicles and any type of moving machinery. Sometimes I do some stuff that probably I shouldn't, so you might enjoy watching that. But here I am today. I'm back with my Saturn SC2 that in my last video I had replaced the master cylinder, took her out for a little bit of a ride. After I took her out for a ride, I stomped on the brakes and had a line blowout. So what I'm going to do today is I am going to replace the brake lines about halfway back the car from there to both sides, even on the rear, even though it only blew one side out. They're just so rusted, I might as well replace them both. One of the things that I'm going to try and do, is, and I've done it in the past, we'll see if it works today, is one of these, the back ones has the ISO bubble flare. I'm going to try and show you how to do it with a double flare tool. We'll see if it works. As I said, I've had it work before, but who knows. And I will also show you how to do the proper double flare and splice in a piece of line. So I'll get underneath the car here and I'll do my best camera work to try and get a shot of what I'm doing and where it's at, and then I'll bring you along as I put on some new brake lines. I hope you enjoy. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this off, get where I'm at a straight piece here, and then they come over this way and over here, and you can see where once they get outside this partial frame here, they're just nasty rusty. Now I think it blew out here, or else up here at this one, but the wetness that you see is basically just the PB blaster I put on there to take those out. Now what I'm afraid of is it's actually going to they're going to break off. I'll worry about mounting them later, just because there's not much you can do with this rust. We'll figure something out. But there's sort of the end of it. And if you come up here, you can see this line here is the one that goes up to this hose here. That's where it has one of the ISO or bubble flares. So we're going to try and make one on the end and use what connectors I have. And I'll be honest, it may still leak, but or it may leak. I've had it work before, but we'll try it with the tools we have. And if you come over to the other side, you'll see over here, right there is where the other one's at. I've busted the ends off, and I can't reuse the ends because they're terrible. So what we'll do is we'll start trying to take these lines off and go from there. See, probably what you're going to see is my back. I'll try to stay out of here. All I'm trying to do is those bracket bolts that I showed you here. I'm going to try and break those off, and that's probably what they'll do. They'll probably break. But I'll try and at least let you see what's happening. We'll try and get them off and go from there. We'll 10 millimeter, trusty 10 millimeter, and we'll just see. We'll start all the way here in the front with this one. It looks the best. Hey, that one's gonna play. That's because that one's not rusted. So we'll take that off. It's only a little cap. One of those little cap type. Alright, and I'm assuming that I've never taken these off. Looks like a little clip there. Okay. That one came off. If they're all just little caps like that, see, it's just one, it's not really a bolt. Just one of these little cover caps. Little push on actually, almost. But they're 10 millimeters, so let's see. I'm actually surprised how easily they came off, or coming off. I guess just because they're them little push caps, that's all there is to it. Okay, so that one's off. Okay, I'm just going to get a screwdriver to help me pop these out. And I'll get them popped out, and then after, I'll be right back. There's no use watching me just popping these clips off. You saw how the one comes off. They all come off the same. Gonna get a screwdriver, and then I'll be back. Back, even though I don't have these all off, because I just wanted to show you, if you get up in here, I mean, these things are so rusted. There's so much rust on them. You almost have to pull this down and get up in here. Bring these clips down. They just don't want to play, I'll tell you. I'm not going to worry about breaking the lines, of course, because they're already broke. Or need replaced, I should say. So it looks like if you get up in here and actually push back from up under here, they'll finally come off. In other words, what I had to do was, I don't know if you can see this, but I had to get in here. Let me zoom a little bit here. I actually had to, while it was up like this, I had to get up in here and actually take that and just sort of pry that down. And like I said, these lines are in here like a son of a gun, because they're basically just rusted in with dirt and stuff. I mean, it's no wonder that line broke. I mean, I can see why. I'm going to try and get this last one off here to get these lines off. Eee, look at that. Better than what I thought. Okay. Alright. I think I got all of those loose. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to go up here to the front, like I said, where this first one was, take this apart and cut these lines. And then come around with the bend. Now, what I got to remember is the outside line is my left brake setting in there. So this outside line actually comes to the inside here. So, you know, I want to make sure I get the left to the left, and so I'm sorry, it is actually the outside. It's actually the outside one here. So it goes from outside, and then as it runs through here, it goes to outside also. Which, I mean, I could get you up there and show you, but you can believe me, it's just the outside line. And I'm going to cut this back there, and I'll show you what I'm going to do. I'll be right back. Here's where I'm going to cut it. I'm going to pull these out of here, out of this clip, and then I'm going to cut these. Make sure you don't cut the wrong ones, because I can see myself doing that. One thing I'm going to do is just do them one at a time. Even though I know this is the outside one, I'm just going to cut it with my handy cutter here. Somehow I lost my big screwdriver. I must have carried it out there with me. Be right back in one. I'm back. So let's take and try this outside one out. Go. So let's bend this down. Try and pull it out so we can get a cut on this baby. Then I think we'll put that one, we'll put this one back in. We'll do it up here past this. We'll put this one back in. Then I think the other one will come out. We'll get this one out of the way and do everything. So there shouldn't be a whole lot of, there's probably going to be some brake fluid come out of it, but it shouldn't be a whole lot because it was pretty much everything blew the heck out of it when it blew apart. So I'm going to try and make this a nice cut because we're going to have to come up here. I'm going to have to try and double flare it inside of here. So we have to get the room, but we'll be able to pull that down a little bit more once we get this cut off, and we'll give ourselves plenty of room to do it. So now I'm just taking the cutter and cutting this off, trying to get it as square as I can. I find this is the best way to cut them. Alright, I'll pull this piece of crap-olio out of the way. So what I'm going to do is get my tool, flare this son of a gun here, and be right back. Okay, now what I like to do to make sure you're going to get a good, get your crud out of your hole and get this big enough, I got a drill bit here. Just going to go inside it, ream out the crap that could have, you know, sort of rolled in there. So there's any rough edges. And then what I do also is I have my Dremel. I have the handy dandy Dremel here. And I take that and go around the outside, get any burrs off. You can use a file or whatever, but I have the handy dandy battery operated Dremel. Now the next thing that's important is make sure that you put your end on that you're going to use, because you'll do it. I guarantee you it'll happen. You'll put the son of a gun on there and you'll make your nice flare, and then you'll look up and you'll say, huh, shit, I didn't do that. So anyhow, alright, so what you want to do is you want to take the side of this with your numbers on. This is 3/16 line, so you want to use your 3/16 one here. Now what I try to do is get it started here. And you got to make sure you have yourself enough room, especially up in here. This is a pain in the butt ski, but oh well, you know, it's the way it is. Now what you got to do on these is you got to make a double flare. So I usually let me beam out a little bit here, Scotty. I usually tighten the one furthest away here, sort of tight, because then what I do is you're supposed to take your little adapter, and what you do is it has a ridge on it here, and I don't know if you can see that, but your line should only stick out as far as that ridge, your brake line. So I almost got it nailed there. The line is the line is out about as far as that ridge. The line is out about as far as that ridge. So that's almost perfect. So then what I do is make sure you got these tight, because it can slip through there. What I'll do a lot of times is I'll take the bar from the other part of the tool and just give her an extra wingy bingy, a little bit extra, a little dabble do you. Now what you do first, you take your tool, you take the adapter, and you put that end in your line. You want to make sure she's sort of square, make sure she's square. So you put that end up. I grabbed the quarter one. Let me get the 3/16. I'll be right back. Okay. It'll make a difference when you have the right one that you can actually put in that hole. So I put her in the hole and start your tool on it. You want to make sure you keep that, even though you have the stem in, keep that as square as you possibly can. Your little adapter that you're going to be putting down on that. That makes a world of difference. And there goes my, yeah, because we're doing this on an upside down, inside out angle. Alrighty. So let's tighten her up. See how we do making our first part of our flare here. sure this doesn't fall out again. Okay, folks, I don't know how much of that I got on video or how much I did, but I did not have this tool on properly, and it started going all cattywampus. So I took everything apart, figured I wouldn't show you that. We're back to where we were earlier. Let's see if we can get the tool on properly. I'm not making any excuses, but doing this upside down and backwards certainly doesn't help. But I am not going to make any excuses because there I don't have the tool on again. Correct. So let me make sure I get this other ear over there. So, you know, make sure that you're watching all that stuff when you're doing this because it's easy to do. You know, you're trying to get everything square and getting it proper, but once it started going, I could tell it wasn't doing the way it should. So, it's trying to go crooked on again. I could see it happening really quickly. Just because you're trying to do this on an angle and upside down, but as far as I know, there's really no other way to do this. It's still going frickin' crooked. Alright. So there, I think we're on square, so like I said, you want to get it square so you have a good... I'm going to have to put my back to the camera here because this just isn't working the way it should be for me. Alright. Now what I'm talking about is there's two ears back here and they were just going... one was hooking and one wasn't. So now let's try this again now that we have it on there. Better. And everything looks like it's going relatively square. I'm going to hold the tool so that try and hold the tool and do this so that it doesn't turn. You know, it's just never ever easy. Never. And you want to make sure you get this good and tight. Yeah, it looks like it's going as square as it's going to. Because you don't want it to leak. I mean, I've never had one leak, but I can't remember doing one upside down and inside out like this. But, oh well, we'll get her. So now what it did was it made a little bubble on there. So now what you do is you take that little adapter out, and you just use the tool as is. Get it on there, see if we can get it on square again. This will be easier without the adapter in there, of course, because you don't have to fight with that. So you want to make sure you get it in the hole. That's what she said. And you get your ears down on there. A little tougher, I mean, when I'm trying to... Not making any excuses, as I said, even though I'm making excuses. It's tougher like this. Man, if this bugger doesn't leak, I'll be so surprised. It's tougher than what I thought it would be. I guess it's because I've replaced them outside most of the time. It is really tough to get this sucker squared up. Sorry folks, I'm going to put my back to the camera so I can see what I'm doing here. And try not to fall off the stool. Okay. I still don't like the way that's on there. I don't know why this is being such a bugger. Certainly is easier on the bench, I can tell you that. And it doesn't appear to be hitting anything. It wants to pull right away. Well, I'm so looking forward to doing the other one, huh? don't know what is making me want to. I guess what I'm seeing is straight. It isn't. Now I see why Scotty Kilmer just tells you to use the compression fittings, even though they're illegal in this state to use. Alright, even though I'm starting to get pissed, I'm going to let the camera roll. I'll be honest, this is the first time I used this tool. I had another one and I got this one because I was missing an adapter, and I don't know if it's the tool, if it's me. I don't like the way that it doesn't really bite onto that too well. Now let's give her a roll. Maybe I'll be going back to the old tool. Like I said, this angle doesn't help either, but well, okay. We'll see what happens. It's all I can say. Well, even after all that, to me, it looks good. But who's to say, you know? Alright, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go outside here. I'm going to measure the line, the length of line that I need from the old line here, try to get the bends in it. Then what I'll do is make the line out there. I'll show you how I'm going to try and do that, see if it works. And then we'll do the other one. I probably won't show doing the other one because you've already seen how to do one, and basically it'll be the same. I will come under here and show you how I put the coupler in and all that. But okay, we're going to go out and we're going to make the piece of line we need. We're going to make the line now that we need. I'm going to go get the piece of line. Here she is. Now, we gotta try and get some of the bends in it, but we can bend it under the car too. I mean, what I got was, this is some of that new line, this nickel something or other that's supposed to be the hot setup, easily bent, so we'll see how it works. I just got it from Amazon.com, 25 foot. Never used it before. We'll see how it works. Hope I have enough. If not, I'm going to have to use steel line. This is only 25 foot. I didn't really know how much I had to make. Ooh, stuff does bend nice. Wow. Hey, let go of my toolbox. And I don't know if other guys do, but I am going to leave a little extra just in case. I'm not going to worry about making it perfect. Like I said, we'll get it. We'll get her when she's in there. I should have enough to make 2 lines. Okay, we sort of got a basic outline. So, take this and toss her out of there. Now what I want to make sure of is, which I didn't do, but I want to make sure that I put the double flare on the correct end. And the single flare on the other end. So this is the end I cut off, the other end was broken off, and this sort of looks yeah, this sort of, yeah, let me try this again here. How did we have this? You gotta leave a little extra. Probably screw me on what I need for the other one, but I got other line. Alright, so I'm gonna get my cutter. So we're just going to cut this baby. It doesn't matter. We can always rebend it. I mean, the main thing is as long as I have it long enough. That is, I mean, you know what I'm saying. If I put the wrong end on the wrong side, it's just going to make more work, which I'm so used to that. That's why I'm the disgruntled mechanic. Okay, so we're going to put this end on. We're going to do our double flare again. Let me get my tool. I'll be right back. Okay, I had drug my tool over there with me, but I'm going to take this and bore this out a little bit here. Get my Dremel this. Let's see if this goes any better, double flaring this bugger up here, where it did down there. Okay, so 3/16. Gotta find my adapter. Okay, found my adapter. Let's do that's almost perfect. I don't think you're going to get a lot better. So let's tighten this up. Okay, adapter in first. I don't think I'm going to have to squeeze down on as hard on this stuff as I did. the old stuff. On the steel line, because this just doesn't seem as tough. Yeah, it is nicer when you don't have to do this on a different angle. Alrighty, so it's starting crooked, of course. You know, every time that I did this, any time before that I was not filming, this went just great. Now see, what happened was, this is in the way, keeping me straight. So, my wing nut. Yeah, I feel like a wing nut right about now too. Alright. That looks pretty good. Man, my old kit I used for years and years and years. You know, have done numerous vehicles, but man, oh man, I just don't like this tool. I swear I never had this much problem with my old one. Never. Folks, I'm back. When I left you in this video, some of my equipment, my camera, had some problems with it, took a crap. I was making double flares to do the brake lines. I have since done the double flares. I didn't have time to stop and fix the camera and everything, and I wanted to get the project done. So I since went and did the double flares. I promised you an ISO flare with the tool. I will show you that in the previous, but I want to get under the car while I have it up before I actually put the wheels on and take it for a ride and stuff, and show you exactly what I did, what I finished up, where I put the ISO flares, and what problems I had, because I made myself a problem, as usual. It was my fault, in a hurry. Bad thing to do, should know better, but I did it, and I figured I'd tell you about it. So let's go under the car now, and I'll show you what happened and what exactly is what. Show you is where I actually put the couplers in and connected my lines. I think there's a pretty good picture of both couplers, this one and this one. When I was under here, I don't think it was on. I'm gonna have to piece this together of what I did and what fell apart and what happened, and try and make a decent video out of it. But when I flared, I don't know if I did it, when I flared this one here, yeah, you can't see this one back here, I didn't like the way I did the flare. But being in a hurry and just wanting to get it done, I put it together. Well, sure enough, it leaked. And let me tell you folks, I had everything full of brake fluid. I should have taken the time and did it right, because then I ended up doing it with brake fluid in it and stuff getting all slimy and going down my arm, and it was just a mess and a pain in the ass, and I should have taken the time and did it correctly. Lesson learned, lesson for you. I do know better, but I just didn't do what I knew better about. What I'm showing you now is my lines and how I put them back together and ran them. Don't look beautiful. Tried to do my best I could. Now what I did want to show you is where I actually, this is where the ISO flare went in to this brake hose. And the ISO flare that I made, and that I promise I will show you in this video, no leaks. That was what I was a little more concerned about. I've done them before, but hey, you just never know. And of course, once again, I put the wrong size end on there. I wanted the longer one, and I got the shorter one on, but thank goodness it worked and it held. So that's that side. So then if we go over and go over to the other side, that's where the other one's put in. As you can see, I put a longer flare nut in there, and it worked fine. Like I said, I would prefer to have that on the other side, but that one's not leaking, so I'm good. So right now, what I'm in the process of is bleeding. I just bled the brakes out. I got to get the tires on, take this for a ride, see how it works. If any of you watched when I put the master cylinder on this, I had a problem. When I put it together and I put the reservoir on, it appears I crushed the O-ring a bit and I had a leak where I put the reservoir on. Once again, being in a hurry, my fault. I'm trying to show you people what not to do. You won't be disgruntled like I am. I do it to myself a lot of times, but that's the way it is. I mean, that's all I can tell you. That's the way it is. I do it to myself. Now, what I can tell you is I am going to show what I did, how I did it differently on that master cylinder, because I had to pull it. I pulled it back off to be able to do what I thought was properly, and I learned a few things about when I took it off before, and if I moved some other stuff, it certainly would have helped me the first time. But you live and learn. Like I said, this is a learning experience. Never worked on this before. It's the way I learned about my equipment and how I learned how to work on most of it. So that's basically where it's at. That's what it is. So I will do, basically it'll be called Update to the Saturn Master Cylinder, and show what I did and how I did it to do it properly, or what I feel is a better way than what I originally did in the first series of putting the master cylinder on this Saturn. So I'm going to close this one out, try and put this video together, hope it comes together well. I'm going to post it either way. So thank you for watching. This is Mike, the Disgruntled Mechanic. If you like my videos, please subscribe to the Disgruntled Mechanic on YouTube. I'm going to try and keep them coming at least once a week. And once again, I want to thank you for watching. And as I always say, if you can get someone else to do it, you're probably better off.